Bitcoin and ETH are teetering on support ahead of JPow's speech and the monthly close, both coming up, very, very soon, right? Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, is the 31st. Hey, guys, it's Keith Allen, and busy day today, so I'm going to try and bang this thing out as soon as I will. Now, actually, but for those of you looking for the written analysis, I got a brief one in there now on the YouTube version, and I will add to that after my appointment here coming up in a little bit after this stream. So obviously yesterday, big time volatility in both directions for the market. Caught a lot of people off guard. Over the weekend, or actually last week, we saw ETH especially lose just some key levels. Bitcoin also slid back, of course, reclaimed that over the weekend. And, that was a short-lived victory because ran into some key technical resistance, and prices have slid back and now basically teetering on support. Bitcoin's still in better shape than ETH has been, I would say, and that largely due to the Grayscale ETF outflows. So in this analysis, we're going to look at Bitcoin and ETH, of course, ahead of tomorrow's Fed rate decision and Fed Chair Powell's comments, and of course, the monthly close. Now, I don't think anybody is expecting a cut or a hike tomorrow. But there is one baked in for September. So really, I think all eyes and ears are going to be on Jay Powell's comments after the meeting to see if he telegraphs with any specificity or clarity that a cut will be coming as soon as September. I don't expect him to be specific, but I would say that he would probably, I'm hoping he's going to be leaning towards the fact that the data is pointing towards a trend that they think is sustainable, and if it continues, that they would likely start cuts here before the end of the year. So that's about what my summary of it is, but that's speculative, of course, so we'll wait to see what actually happens. And we can speculate all we want, but what really matters is how these assets perform relative to the technicals to give us an idea if we are going to indeed recover or maybe see a deeper correction here. So let's start out with the ETH ETF flows, because that's obviously on everybody's mind. Let's share screen. Let's go to, we can also look at the ETH. Let's look at the ETH Bitcoin, the ETH fire chart, excuse me, and see what liquidity is looking like, because I just noticed something pretty significant here. As you can see, this is the ETH fire chart on the daily time frame. And, I was liking this plunge protection down here. And it seems to have just disappeared. So that's been rug pulled right there. That is not a great look. Is there a chance that turned into market orders here? Yes, but the fact that it didn't happen like right at the moment is a little suspect. So I'm not sure that this is necessarily related to these market orders. This was about 6 million. We can look and see what the value of these orders was here. We were down at negative 40. So no, it's not, because that was not the same value. So no, this is not related. This rug pull here is not related to the market order activity that we're seeing here. I don't think. Let's you know what? Before I rest on that, I just want to look specifically and see what purple whales did here. Purple whales were down about 2 million, and no, definitely not. No correlation, in my opinion, with this rug pull and these market orders here. So running into some resistance right here, and that certainly has been the name of the game for ETH here. As you can see, technical resistance here back at the 50 and 100-day moving averages here. This is a bit of a death cross that formed yesterday. What's more important than this right here is the weekly. The weekly is the 21-week moving average, and this is really where things went south for ETH here yesterday. As I discussed in yesterday's analysis, there was a breakdown last week where ETH lost literally all of the key moving averages here: the 50, the 100, the 21, and the 200, and then we got a bit of a retest of support here at the 200-day moving average, and then After the weekly close, we started to see this nice recovery. Candle grew past um, all of these moving averages as well as the 618 fib. I even have this level right here. You see this white line down here around 3,300. This is an area of historical significance, as you can see on the weekly chart. A lot of confluence, going all the way back to 2021, where we've had a lot of interaction with this level. So that's why I have that white line on the chart. It's close enough to the pin to the 618 fib, and I think the 618 is a bit more important than that. And of course, more important than all of them is this 21-week moving average. Got to get past that so we can go back up and make another run at the 786 level, which is really kind of a double top range, close enough to a double top anyways. Whatever the case, we've got to cross this level to create a higher high and have a chance to go at all-time high territory. So that's the long and short of ETH. What we'll be looking at here in the coming days is, after the monthly close, are we potentially going to get a new trend precognition signal that indicates some directional changes for ETH? We're obviously playing out a downtrend here. Are we going to see a reversion? Will we see the A1 slope line tick up and give us an indication that this downward momentum is weakening, and we could see some recovery here in the coming month, or months, I should say? We'll have to wait to see how that plays out. Now over to those long-awaited ETH ETF flows. As you can see, yesterday not as bad as maybe some expected. The Grayscale outflows have diminished significantly. The BlackRock has been, kind of consistent with their game, I would say. They're playing the market, and I think they do a good job. I think they do a better job of trading the market than a lot of the other ETFs do. Initially, with all of them, they were aping into Bitcoin, just pouring money in because there was so much pent-up demand. It took them a couple of weeks to counter the amount of outflows that came from Grayscale, and we may be seeing that again. It was about 2 weeks and a 20% drawdown after the Bitcoin ETFs launched back in January. And, we'll see. So far, we haven't seen it go that deep. I think it's only been about maybe 10%. Let me see. We started on Tuesday? They launched on Tuesday, the 23rd. So far we have seen, since the prior high, we've seen about a 13% correction. So, there could be more. Certainly there could be more, but this would make sense to me. Whatever the case, the title of this thing was that BTC and ETH are teetering on support, and here's where that support is right now. The 618 fib is something I'd love to see held, and eventually we have to get back above this 21-week moving average. So right now, the 618 fib, even this RS flip line from years ago, potentially comes into play. It's very, very close. So it's not really that significant in my opinion, in terms of the 618 or that white line. And the daily moving averages are all really packed pretty tight right now. So the 21 down here around 3,300. Our big issue is, in my opinion, if you take these, then the other comes with it, right? But ultimately, we got to cross this 21-week moving average. That's what it all boils down to. And at the moment, we still have the momentum to do so on this weekly time frame. So we'll see how things play out on the daily. Things kind of flat, softening a little bit here as you see the A1 soap line just trying to roll over here a bit. So I think a bit of a holding pattern until we get through the mornings. Well, we do have some economic numbers coming today, but again, I think those are going to be relatively nothing burgers unless there's just a huge miss on something. I think the market is kind of treading water, waiting for Powell's comments tomorrow. We see how the monthly close fares. Possibly we see some portfolio rebalancing. This could actually work to ETH's advantage if we see some portfolio rebalancing happening at the first of the month to um, especially for ETF buyers who have already been in the game with Bitcoin ETFs, who may want to diversify and either add ETH into their portfolios or potentially rebalance some of their Bitcoin related holdings into ETH. So those are all things that we could see transpire in the coming days. If that does happen on Monday, if we do see a big portfolio rebalancing event, that could give ETH a boost here. So that's something we will be watching very, very closely. Now let's go to the Bitcoin side. And Bitcoin, I think, has really been faring better than ETH through this. I thought ETH was strong in the previous month, staying above that 618 the way that it had for so long, hovering up here for a long time. I thought that was good. That was a sign of strength. And then, of course, we had the breakdown. Now, Bitcoin, on the other hand, had to work its way into that strength. And as you can see here, has reclaimed all of these key moving averages. We're about to see a golden cross by tomorrow with the 21-day and the 100-day moving average. They've already crossed here a few over the weekend, so that's positive. Of course, we're playing a down signal right now from trend precognition, which speaks to this pullback that we've seen here. But this trend line, we talk about teetering on support. We're teetering on this trend line right here. And if we zoom out to the weekly time frame, we can see that has confluence with the 21-week moving average, which we know is a critical one, right? So my biggest concern here is this 21-week moving average. We'll see how this continues here in the coming days. And of course, same set of circumstances with the monthly close. You see how this is kind of flat, trending downwards a little bit. What's going to happen after the close tomorrow? Will we see a change? And so that's really where my eyes are. We can look at the Bitcoin ETF flows, if you like, real quick, and see what that looks like. As you can see, those have been consistently growing. BlackRock with a pretty big day yesterday, 205 million. So net positive flows for the Bitcoin ETF. We'll see what the day brings. Quick look at fire charts for Bitcoin, and we can see at this point we do have some bid ladders coming into. Excuse me. We do have a bid ladder coming into the range below 65. What's that? From about 63 to 65, which is good to see. We do have this. Yesterday we saw this brief breach of 70K. I mean, it just licked past 70K, and a bit of a whipsaw event here, right? This was really, this is what threw the market for a loop, in my opinion. We saw, and let me tighten up to the daily time frame. We can see it a little bit better, perhaps. It's already faded off the screen, I'm afraid. So that means it was more than 24 hours ago. So yeah, that was like right when I was cranking out yesterday's analysis. Basically what happened is we saw some selling here as things started moving up. We saw some stair stepping of bid liquidity. This was 15 mil, 10 of this 15 million. As you can see, it fades into almost 5 million. So 10 of this 15 million stair stepped up here. And then it moved up even higher. And it pushed price. Obviously, price went with it. So we saw things really pushing price into this range here. And ultimately, what happened is we saw a dump. We saw whales dump into this bid wall of 10 million. And both brown whales and purple whales, you can see here, we're in that. I'll actually even clear out the others out of the range. This is a normalized view, by the way, and normalized just is, helps us see these moves a little bit better. I'll show you in a second what this looks like in cash value. But there was a dump here that took out this this buy wall. It was about 10 million bucks, and then just a huge market order buy from both brown mega whales and purple whales. Now, we typically see market orders out of these classes. The range is, for mega whales is $1 million to 10 million. It's very rare to see anything to the high side of that. I mean, average is like 1 million to 3.5 million, maybe. Then occasionally you see them in the $5 million range. It's rare to see one over 5 million or 7 million. And this was If we switch it over to absolute CVD, we can see that the first sell. All right, we're going to look at Brown, which is the bottom one, million to 10 million. They were they were net about 4 million. Then they dumped all of it, and then they bought, boom, 25 million in a heartbeat. That's a $25 million market order. This was a $30 million buy wall. So they took out 25 million of it went to Brown. And as you can see, Purple, who initially sold just a little bit, what they sell? Purple sold about 5 million, which helped get through this wall here. And then on the buyback, they came in. We're down to 20 million, came back in to, 46 million. Okay, so another 26 million. So this was 50 million in market orders. Boom, really quick, that just shot through. Took out resistance at 70K, which has been there for a long, long time. But we saw things dumping fast after that. We saw, you can see how we saw this resistance replenish here, right? We were at 30 million before it was taken out. We lost that. And then it started to rebuild 14 million, 18 million, 20 million, 25 million. And now it's back up to 27 million, nearly where it was before it was broken. So it's replenished and created more resistance. And that is exactly why we're seeing Bitcoin run into resistance here at these key levels. The 2021 top, 69K. So yes, we did break through to 70K, but that was only brief. And what I have been saying to you guys literally for months, since back in March when we first broke it, is that 69K, even though it didn't have the liquidity that a lot of these that 70K has and higher, it has been an absolute real bear to break. It has been a serious barrier. It has been we've interacted with it literally dozens of times. I'm going to clear out these trend precognition signals to make it easier for you to see. We've interacted with this 69K level, which was the 2021 top. We interacted with it, I mean, dozens of times. This was the all-time high back in 2021, and we have interacted with it, I mean, more times than we can count. And I maintained every single time that until we see an RS flip at 69K, how can we expect to take out, this huge amount of liquidity above us in this 75K range, right? We have an all-time high now sitting around 73.8. How do we get there? How do we get through it? Well, in my mind, we've got strong technical resistance now at 71.9, which really gets us into prior high. So printing a higher high means we've got to get higher than this one, which was at 71.949. The one before that, really, really close, 71.958. So we've got to get past this 71.960 range to print a legit higher high and then go after the all-time high. And I don't see that happening until we RS flip 69K. And by RS flip, I mean we're printing full candle bodies above this level. We've not had, I think, more than 2 consecutive candle bodies above that 69K level without a wick below. So that's what I want to see. Until that happens, I just don't see the strength in the move. So, here we are teetering on support on the trend line and on the 21-week moving average. When I zoom to this time frame, it breaks the trend a little bit, but that trend line was drawn on the daily, so don't sweat that. It's the 21-week moving average that you want to see broken. Now, the good news is we're aiming for a golden cross here between the 21 and the 100 here. That will complete tomorrow. We have this, Powell speech, which maybe telegraphs potential rate cut coming in as soon as September, and we'll be looking for a new monthly signal from trend precognition. As we always do at the end of each month, we look for those new signals. We're currently in a downtrend here on the daily, and that's confluent with both algos here. On the weekly, we kind of flat, to be honest with you. And on the monthly, what's going to happen? We have been in a downtrend. We've been chopping along this area um, of uh, of resistance at the 69K level, with creating lower lows. And now we need to see if we're going to see a reversion. Are we going to get a signal here or whether we get a signal or not, will the A1, even if we don't get a signal, if the A1 slope line ticks up here, that would be an indication that we're going to see some rebuilding of the trend. So patience is kind of the game here. Have to wait and see how things play out. But regardless of how you want to speculate, these technical levels do not lie. So keep those in mind. 21-week moving average is really the critical one at this stage, and RS slipping the 69K level, also very critical, in my opinion, at this stage. One more look at liquidity in the order book. We do have some support here at the moment. Maybe that's plunge protection. Maybe they just want to absorb here because they think we're going to go down, maybe potentially fill some CME gaps. I can promise you this, with the way liquidity is set up in the order book, and with the Fed meeting tomorrow and the monthly close tomorrow night, you can expect some volatility. Be prepared for that. But knowing what your levels are that you're watching for, that's really what's going to help you navigate through all of this. If we zoom out, we can see still, overhead resistance above 70K is very strong, and we do have some decent bid support in here. But is it going to be enough to hold after the monthly close? So watching for that intently. Time for patience. Time for discipline. Don't catch knives in this. Let's wait and see, you got another day to wait and see how things settle down. So pick your targets and manage your risk and trade wisely, my friends. Hope that helps you out for the day. If you like the stream, please do me a favor and smash each and every button, and most especially make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button up there so you don't miss any of these streams. Also, please share those comments, people. I love the comments. Keep them coming. I engage with each and every one of them, and they also help me grow the channel. If you're looking for the written descriptions and the closed captioning takes a little bit of time to populate on YouTube, so give that up. Be patient for that. And I will do my best to add to the written descriptions here throughout the day here. If I see anything else developing, as always, I will post that for you in the channel. Thanks again for following, guys. Don't forget to smash all those buttons. Have a great day.